just sit down and enjoy a nice, hearty, warm, comforting soup. I don't know, it's cold tonight, okay? Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Art of Christian Homestead. We're in the kitchen again tonight, okay? Angela Kay is cooking up a beautiful smelling, because the aromas filled the kitchen already. Loaded potato soup, okay? It's a nice winter meal, nice and warm and comforting, but I don't know what she's doing, so she better tell you. Let's go.
In this big pot, we have about 10 to 12 slices of bacon cut up.
That's why it's smelling so good.
Yes. Now, as you can see, it's all fried, all nice and crispy. So we're going to pull it out. And we're going to put it on paper plates.
Very good idea. Very good trick to use.
Because if you put it on paper towel, you get lint from the paper towel stuck to your bacon. And I don't like linty bacon.
It's not lint seasoned.
No. No, it's not. So, this, as you can tell, this is a lot of bacon. But you have to have lots of bacon.
Said it was loaded.
Yes, it is loaded.
It ain't like Otis Campbell, but it's loaded.
Okay. Now, once you get all this bacon out of here, you want to drain off most of this bacon fat. You want to keep a little bit of it in there, but you want to drain off most of it. And then I'll show you what we do next. I just have a tiny little bit of bacon grease left in there, probably about a teaspoon. And you want to turn your heat back over medium heat, and you want to add 4 tablespoons of salted butter.
It's a half stick, right?
It's a half stick. And you want to let that melt really good, because from there we're going to be frying up some onions in this. If you don't like onion in your potato soup, you can leave it out, but it does add really good flavor. Now our butter is all melted, and we are going to add, this is about a ½ cup of chopped onion. And I am using sweet onion. You can use whatever onion you like, but I am using a good sweet onion. That way it's not overpowering, because if you use a harsh onion in this, it can overpower. So you want to stir that around, and the minute it hits the pan with that butter and the little bit of leftover bacon grease, it smells amazing. Now you want to season as you go. So you want to add a little bit of salt. Remember, don't overkill with it, because you are adding some salty ingredients. And also, you are using salted butter.
Bacon fat and salty.
So now we're adding some pepper. I will add more pepper and more salt later. Now you want to fry up these onions until they are nice and tender, which will not take long at all. My onions are all nice and tender now, and I'm adding in 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Just sprinkle it in on top of your onions. And you're going to make a roux around your onions. It'll get all nice and pasty from here. See, it's starting to get pasty. And you want to season your roux as well. Even though you just added some salt, you want to season your roux as well. Just a little bit. Now we're going to add a little more salt later because of seasoning with potatoes, because if you don't know, potatoes absorb seasoning a lot. Now you want to let this cook for about a minute or so to get that raw flour taste out, which it's already done in the time that I've been talking. So to this, we are going to add 3 cups of chicken stock. You want to add in about half of it and stir it in. That way you don't get clumps of flour. That way you don't get a very clumpy, nasty soup. You don't want lumps of flour in your soup. See, it absorbed it really quick. So now we're going to add the rest of it. And we're going to stir that in really good. So now your stock is all starting to get incorporated, and it's already starting to show signs of thickening. Now you want to take your spoon and you want to rub it across the bottom of your pot to pick up all of that goodness on the bottom of your pot. And as you do that, you can see your mixture getting darker in color because it's picking up all of that color off the bottom of your pot.
It's what they call fond, right?
And it's not burnt, it's just wonderful flavor.
Yep.
So from here, you want to turn your heat down on medium-low, which if you have numbers, it's about a 2 or a 3. And we are going to add 3 cups of whole milk. Now you want to stir that in. And at this point, because this is the liquid you are going to be cooking your potatoes in, so you want to season this up heavily. Don't overkill, because you are adding bacon and cheese and all the good stuff, which are salty ingredients, but you want your potatoes to be seasoned. So add a good couple of pinches of salt, and we will taste it later and see if it's enough. And some good black pepper. Now we are going to bring this to a simmer, and we are going to let this simmer together until it's nice and hot, and then we'll add our potatoes. Now our broth and our milk is all heated up, and it's starting to thicken because of the roux. So now we are going to add, this is 6 to 7 medium to large potatoes that are cut in cubes about that size. Now we are going to just dump all those in, and they are going to cook in the soup. That way they take on better flavor. And at this point, you should be well seasoned enough. When they start to get a little closer to done, we will taste and see if it needs more salt. So now we'll just let these cook.
On what temperature?
You want to do about between medium and medium low,
so low
because
and slow.
you don't want to do it hard because of the milk. It can make the milk curdle.
Okay.
And you just want to cook these potatoes until they're just fork tender. You don't want them falling apart and mushy. You want them just fork tender, and I'll show you what that looks like when they're done. Okay, this has been cooking for about 20 minutes, and I'll show you that the potatoes are fork tender. You want to pull up some potatoes, stick a fork in, and see it easily went in and actually broke in half when I poked it. See, they're all nice and tender. And you want to do that, you want to test at least 5 to 7 potatoes, because some potatoes take longer to cook than others. And you may have had 2 different potatoes at one time. So check at least 5 to 7 cubes. So to this, we are going to add our bacon back in. All that beautiful bacon. And you want to stir all that in. And at this point, because it's already so hot, you want to go ahead and turn off your heat. And also, you don't want your sour cream to curdle in there, because it will. If it's added to too high of heat, it will. So we're adding a 1/2 cup of sour cream. It doesn't take much. It's just to creamy it up a little. If you don't have sour cream, or if you don't like sour cream, you can just add heavy cream. Because like I said, it's just to make it creamy. You want to stir that in until it's all melted in. But we are also going to add, this is 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. I have shredded this myself. It's going to melt much better if you shred it yourself.
Why is that?
Because they use starches, sometimes potato starch, sometimes other starches, on pre-shredded
Keep it from clumping.
to keep it from clumping.
Yeah.
And it also keeps it from melting completely pure. So it's not going to be stringy and clumpy in your melting if you do this with cheese you shredded yourself. It's just going to melt smoother in this. If you don't like sharp cheddar, you can use mild cheddar. And at this point, you want to taste it for seasoning and add any salt or pepper that you think it may need at this point. And we'll be back and let Jason taste it.
All right, I'm gonna take a bite of this beautiful soup if I can keep from spilling it on myself. But there it is. Look at that beautiful soup, if you can see it very well. It's hard to see it, the lights on it, but it's a beautiful soup. That's beautiful. Really nice flavor. Very comforting on a cold winter's night. Okay, so hey, get yourself some rolls, some toast, grilled cheese sandwich, some crackers. We're gonna put some crackers in it, and just sit down and enjoy a nice, hearty, warm, comforting soup on a cold night. Okay, hey, thank you guys for watching. Hey, my name's Jason. That's Angela K. Art of Creation Homestead. Love you guys. God bless you and goodbye.